The sky went from a perfect blue to gray, and then it began to snow, hesitantly and then unexpectedly with a fury as horizontal flurries whipped past our faces, whereupon I missed Neto saying something to me as he trailed behind.
Wait.
I used the weather as an excuse to avoid him, perhaps. A strange sensation had overcome me as I saw him kiss her. Was it jealousy or merely envy? The woman was attractive, but I hadn't felt much but distrust and irritation, although I did recall she began our meeting by complimenting us both slyly. Was that manipulation as well? And had she manipulated Neto was perhaps also the underlying worry. The bunny tugged at my earlobe, and I realized I had been walking rather fast, leaving Neto behind, his small frame barely visible as I turned in the ensuing whiteout. We made our way to where we understood we might be able to reach Simon, a thin apartment complex nestled next to the same music venue. A doorbell camera we rang, and Bunny lit her flames just a fraction before we would have been visible, which I noted. After a beat, we were buzzed in and dusted off half an inch of snow off of our peacoats onto the gleaming checkered lobby tile like so much dandruff. Up 4 flights of concrete stairs, we knocked on the brutalist slab of a door to the upper penthouse as there wasn't a doorbell to be found. Finally, its imposing size pivoted open a crack, and one of the twins from last night opened the door. Her eyes darted nervously at both of us, then down at her feet, holding a pink bathrobe closed. She disappeared briefly and then came back with a little notebook, wrote on it for a while, and then ripped the page and gave it to us. She closed the behemoth of a door as rapidly as she could with her small frame. It read,
"Sorry. Don't know where he is, but tell him to call me if you find him. I will call police if he doesn't come home in 24 hours. He is not well. We had a big fight. Thanks for your help. Cylia. P.S. My sister apologizes."
What do you make of that?
I don't know. I did not talk to him, remember?
Yes, well, I'm sure it could just be a lover's quarrel. Still, the timing isn't great. You don't suppose he'd have gone with your new friend?
My new friend? I don't think so, Harry. Should we talk about it?
Should we? Will that take long? Perhaps we should look for Simon first.
Okay, fine. Although it's not the best of weather to go out searching, surely he would not be at the music place. The sisters would have checked there, I think. I wish he would have allowed us to ask a few questions.
Well, since we're here, let's see if we can't get into the music venue, have a look around without being too obvious. We made our way down to the basement level where there appeared to be an entrance to the venue next door when it occurred to me. The only thing I don't understand is what her sister has to apologize for.
Oh, yes. Well, that doesn't matter. It is nothing related to this.
Oh, do tell anyway.
It is embarrassing, Harry. It has nothing to do with Lucy, I don't think. But last night when you were with Simon, one of the twins, she cornered me and we were dancing and she kissed me, only...
Well, you're certainly getting around, I said, regretting the tone of my voice.
It was nothing, only she did bite my tongue.
She what? And you bled? Did she have fangs?
No, nothing like that, Harry. It was innocent, accidental, I think. I was around her long enough. I think I would have noticed if...
Right, well, if you say so. In any case, we're not getting in this way. And if we hang out any longer, security will be paying closer attention to us, although... perhaps with this snow, there is another way. The drop from the one roof to the other was maybe 10 feet or so. I could see more clearly when the flurries abated for a moment. Although the way across was a good 8 feet as well. Far below, automobiles laid like snowy pillows. I shifted my weight and tested the grip on my now well-worn boots.
I don't know about this, Harry. What if you can't do this sort of thing anymore?
What, me? Old, you say? There, Neto, look! Across on the corner, do you see that little glow like a firefly?
What? Oh, yes, what is that?
Perhaps his girlfriend doesn't like him smoking in the house like I did. Well, Only one way to find out. I've got to go ask him.
Harry, wait, let's talk strategy. Harry!
But I didn't wait for Netto. His voice was already trailing behind me like it were yesterday. The void was a brief respite from life, reminding me of time's relativity, of the relative weight of my very body. Half a second to consider my own death, as my vision was suddenly occluded by the clean white flash of the snowstorm, and then thinly dusted concrete came rushing towards me. I did rather well, barrel rolling and only giving myself a partial sprain.
Who's there? I'm armed!
It's me. Put your weapon away. I made my way closer to find Simon standing precariously at the corner lip of the building. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept in days. Perhaps he'd been doing more than vaping as well. He was wearing only a t-shirt and pants, his skin almost glowing blue from the cold. I wasn't surprised to find he didn't have a weapon.
Harry, what the hell? Did you just jump from that building? How'd you know I was here?
That vape will be the death of you, young man.
Hardly. Some weather, huh? I came up here to get some sun.
Your girlfriend is worried about you. You've got to be mindful with time among the mortals.
She's not my girlfriend. Not anymore, at least I don't think so.
Come back to our hotel if you want. You probably need some sleep.
No thanks. What do you want?
Just to talk. We met Lucy.
Sure, me too. So? She's full of shit, no?
Is she? We'll have to compare notes.
Again, no thanks. I'm not interested in her, in whatever you guys are doing. I just want to be alone, if you don't mind.
You'll excuse me if I'm not worried as you say that standing on the ledge of a 6-story building.
Says the guy who just jumped from that one up there.
We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. Alcohol was mine, as you know.
Not doing drugs, if that's what you're thinking. Not anymore, anyway. When I got here, I did so many drugs and drank so much I should have been dead, but they hardly did anything. Even this is just a habit that reminds me of before. The taste is the only thing that gives me some sense of normalcy. Feels like years ago when it was just a few months. Time's all messed up since.
The urge is complex. Time is only one thing that will adjust.
Sure. So I've heard and so I've read. So Netto told me.
Simon tugged on his vape again. The smoke barely visible amid the flurries. He sat on the overhang. I joined him. I looked back briefly across and above and could faintly see the shape of Netto's body looking down, and the bunny's flames haloing him. I felt a little guilt for not telling him I'd landed safely, but assumed the rabbit could hear us. I took Simon's vape out of his hand, inhaled, and gave it back to him. It tasted of a honeydew melon, but plastic. I pretended that it relaxed me, and so it did a little.
Here's the thing. What if I wasn't meant to have the urge? What if it was like conditioned into me, like manufactured? What if everything I've been told about my parents dying young, about their curse was a lie? And the other reasons, the belief in myself as the embodiment of my bloodline, the genius of my grandfather, all the training, all the truth-finding, finding the vein of the world. Never mind. None of it matters anyway.
Does it matter why? You only have to deal with the now, Simon. The past can always haunt you, but the future is as much alive as well. It can be realized.
I don't know. All I know is I feel like I've been fucked with and I'm sick of that feeling. I want to strip away everything that isn't real, only that's what I thought I was doing in the first place. All my grandfather's teachings, and maybe now that I have some distance I can see perhaps he was messing with me too. That hurts the worst.
Simon looked at his vape, but decided against taking another hit. He tucked it in his pocket.
The long and short of it is that they didn't love me. They loved an ideal. And that's difficult to process. That's all, Harry. That's why I want to be alone. Everybody means well, like you. I know you mean well, but I just don't trust anything. So better off I'm alone.
Well, then, You're going to keep DJing then? No harm there, I don't think.
No, it's fine. It's been fun for a bit. I thought it would be a way of using my powers in a safe way, but truth is that's the only way I've found my powers to work. The lights, bending them like that, that's all I can do, and only when there's a crowd, excitement, joy.
You mean the explosions, all the rest from the compound?
No, that was me, unmistakably, but at the time I felt something different. A realization, a kind of clarity of vision. It was like a response, but since I've tried, safely that is, but less than nothing. The only time I get something, as I said, was with the music, with the fun of the crowd. I tried it first by myself and slowly with bigger and bigger groups, but I know it's safe. It's not even the same thing. The explosions, that was, what's the word? Anomalous as far as I can tell.
Neto could relate, perhaps. I wish he was here. Perhaps I could convince you to meet up with us?
No, I'm gonna go away for a while. You'll forgive me if I don't say bye to Neto. I don't want you to worry, Harry. I'm not gonna kill myself or anything. I'm just gonna try to disappear. If I can, even from myself.
If you're feeling shame about...
This is past shame. Shame is a feeling. I could deal with that. Anyway.
Simon stood up.
Unless you're gonna jump back the way you came, there's a kind of hidden service door over here.
How's your rabbit?
She's well.
She's got good instincts for a magical vampire rabbit. I don't know what you're planning, Harry, but I hope you guys both watch your backs. I don't trust this Lucy woman. She reminds me too much where I come from. I wouldn't be surprised if she was behind it all herself and not just a representative, like they said. But hell, what do I know? Anyway, odd weather, isn't it?
Simon led me out one door and then departed out another. He smiled at me with a cheeky grin and was gone. By the time I got to the street, the snow had abated, and the sky had turned a perfect blue again. Neto snuck up behind me, and the bunny jumped on my shoulder.
I'm hungry, how about you?
Sure, I wouldn't mind some waffles and maybe some fresh melon.
Yes, maybe some strawberries or raspberries. I can't think of the last time I craved some fruit.
We found a little cafe a few blocks down, and that's exactly what we had. As I bit into the melon slice, I felt whatever jealousy I had felt for Neto swim away, and we both seemed mutually content not to talk about anything, as Amsterdam came alive. Children throwing snowballs, the identical pouty-lipped young couples from before in scarves resuming their selfies, and the oddity of living this long on this earth washing over us as we had more coffee and melon and strawberries and waffles. A crow landed outside our window and looked at us, or was it a raven? I've lived this long on this earth, I should probably tell by now. We paid the bill and walked back for our final night in the hotel. I had secured a little houseboat for tomorrow. Pirate on a houseboat. There's some metaphor there. We'll tell you how it goes.